One single penny, produced in 2013, hiding in plain sight, quietly sitting in rolls, wallets, or dusty drawers, waiting for someone to notice its incredible secret. Most people don't see it. Most people never will. But for the rare few who do, life changes forever. This coin isn't just copper and zinc. It's a ticket to a fortune so vast, it seems almost unreal. The story begins in the quiet halls of the United States Mint, where billions of Lincoln pennies roll off the presses every year. 2013 wasn't unusual at first glance, another ordinary year, another ordinary penny. But somewhere in the thousands of dies used to strike these coins, a mistake occurred, one so subtle, so overlooked, that it took years for collectors to even suspect it existed. The 2013 Lincoln penny is distinguished by a mysterious anomaly that escaped notice for far too long. While the average collector casually checks mint marks and date placement, this coin carries a subtle feature that sets it apart, a tiny variation in the D mint mark that most people would never catch. It's almost invisible. But to the trained eye, it signals something extraordinary. Something worth millions of dollars. Imagine this scenario: you're at a flea market, a garage sale, or even sifting through your own collection. You glance at a seemingly normal penny, and something about it catches your attention. A small, almost imperceptible flaw in the mint mark. That's all it takes. One split second of recognition, one spark of curiosity, and suddenly you're holding a coin that could rewrite your life story. The story of this penny is as dramatic as its value. The United States Mint has produced billions of coins, and almost every error is discovered, catalogued, and auctioned. Yet this specific 2013 penny slipped through the cracks. No major announcements. No headlines. Just whispers in collector circles, rumors passed quietly from dealer to dealer, until finally, the secret couldn't be contained. Early reports suggested that coins with this anomaly were already fetching astounding prices, in the hundreds of thousands. The key is the mint mark, the small D near Lincoln's shoulder. Normally, this letter is clean, crisp, and perfectly formed. But on this coin, the D is slightly misaligned, with a subtle doubling that seems to shimmer when tilted under light. Some describe it as almost three-dimensional. Others say it looks like a tiny shadow beneath the letter, something a casual observer would never notice. Once you identify the mint mark, the next step is examining the date. The 2013 penny must have an unaltered, fully readable date. Counterfeits and polished coins flood the market, and the danger is real. Only coins with the precise combination of mint mark and date anomalies qualify as the legendary 2013 era pennies. Collectors often describe the thrill of discovering one as indescribable. It's not just about the money, although the money is unimaginable, it's about holding history in your hands. This penny represents a moment in time, a rare imperfection frozen forever. The idea that a single, tiny coin could be worth millions of dollars in the right hands is enough to send shivers down the spine of any collector. Pennies are everywhere. You pass them by on the street, leave them in jars, hand them to cashiers without a second thought. But this penny, this very 2013 Lincoln penny, could be hiding right under your nose. The thought alone is staggering. Ordinary people could unknowingly hold fortunes in their wallets, unaware of the treasure they carry. The rarity of this coin only heightens its allure. Unlike other famous era coins, which may appear in dozens or even hundreds, the 2013 penny with this anomaly is scarce. Experts estimate that only a handful have surfaced in verified condition. Each coin tells a story of a production line mistake that escaped detection, of a minting anomaly preserved by chance, of a fortune waiting for discovery, and the value isn't just theoretical. Auction houses have confirmed record-breaking sales. One exceptional example changed hands privately for a figure approaching $1.3 million, shocking even veteran collectors. Others have sold for high six-figure sums, with prices climbing steadily as more people learn of the coin's existence. The market is unpredictable, but the message is clear: these coins are not collectibles for casual enjoyment. They are investments, each one a potential life changer. But here's the most fascinating part: discovering one doesn't require luck alone. Knowledge is power. Learning the subtle markers, the doubled D, the perfect date, the coin's weight, and its copper zinc composition, increases your chances dramatically. Expert collectors recommend using a magnifying glass and proper lighting. Tilt the coin, check the reflection, examine it from multiple angles. The tiniest detail could distinguish a worthless penny from one worth a fortune. Emotions run high among collectors who find these coins. Stories abound of long-time enthusiasts discovering an anomaly in a jar of loose change, then realizing the potential value. Verification. Professional grading services are essential. They authenticate the coin, certify its rarity, and help assign it a market value. Without certification, even the most stunning example might be overlooked by serious buyers. It's also a cautionary tale. The 2013 D penny is delicate, like a hidden gem. Improper cleaning, excessive handling, or careless storage can destroy its value. Collectors speak of keeping these coins in airtight holders, in controlled environments, away from sunlight and moisture. Every precaution matters because one tiny scratch could reduce a fortune to a mere trinket, and yet, the drama doesn't stop there. The backstory of the minting process adds another layer of fascination. In 2013, the Denver Mint was producing billions of pennies, a standard procedure. But somewhere along the press line, a die anomaly occurred, a minuscule misalignment that no one noticed until it surfaced in private collections. We may never know. That's part of what makes it thrilling. Every 2013 D penny you examine could either be ordinary or potentially worth over $1 million. Now, imagine your excitement as you sift through rolls of pennies, rolling them one by one, scanning for that telltale doubled D. For collectors, this isn't just a dream. It's a pursuit filled with suspense, anticipation, and the chance to change your life in a single moment. The story of this penny also inspires a deeper reflection. A simple coin, minted in a year like any other, becomes a symbol of hidden potential. It reminds us that luck, timing, and knowledge can transform even the most mundane object into something extraordinary. For those willing to look closely, to study, to learn, the opportunity is real. Collectors share stories of lifelong searches ending in miraculous discoveries. Imagine opening a jar of coins inherited from a parent or grandparent and noticing that tiny difference in the D mint mark. The shock, the disbelief, and then the realization that you hold something historic and valuable. It's a moment that changes perspective, that turns everyday life into a treasure hunt. Even for those who have never collected coins, the 2013 D Lincoln penny represents a compelling lesson. Value isn't always obvious. Fortune isn't always flashy. Sometimes it sits quietly, patiently, in a roll of pennies on a kitchen counter, waiting for someone with curiosity and courage to notice. For collectors in the United States, particularly those aged 30 to 70, this coin has become a legend. Forums buzz with speculation, videos dissect the subtle mint mark, and dealers cautiously confirm sales. The atmosphere is electric because everyone knows the stakes. Each coin carries the potential for a life-altering reward, a sum that could easily be described as $1 million territory, yet, the story is incomplete without the thrill of personal discovery. Finding one requires more than luck. It requires education, focus, and persistence. You learn to recognize the anomaly in the D, to verify the date, to ensure the coin is unaltered. You check the edges, the surfaces, the sheen. Every detail matters because the difference between a regular penny and one worth millions is microscopic, and the emotional payoff is profound. Imagine realizing that a coin you've owned for years, maybe even decades, is one of the rarest in existence. Suddenly, what was once ordinary becomes extraordinary. Life changes not gradually, but instantaneously. Yes, a single penny, hiding in plain sight, capable of changing your life forever. Most people walk past it without ever noticing. But if you know what to look for, you could be holding a fortune that most collectors only dream about. The story begins back in 1973, a year that seemed ordinary at first glance. The United States Mint was churning out billions of pennies, each stamped with Lincoln's face, each passing through countless hands. But hidden among the ordinary, there was an extraordinary anomaly, the 1973 Lincoln penny without a mint mark. A penny so rare, so perfectly preserved, that when it surfaces in the collector market, it commands staggering prices. Millions of dollars have exchanged hands for coins like this. In fact, some of these pennies have been verified at values exceeding $1 million. Deep in the inner workings of the mint. Every year, coins are struck at various facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each facility stamps a tiny mint mark, a small letter that tells you where the coin was made. Philadelphia, the original birthplace of Lincoln cents, often left coins unmarked, but in 1973, most pennies produced in Philadelphia should have had a clear D or S for Denver and San Francisco. Occasionally, through error or oversight, a coin escaped without a mark, creating what numismatists call a no mint mark penny. These mistakes are incredibly rare. For collectors, rarity equals value. And this is where the magic begins. Imagine the journey of one of these pennies. It left the mint unnoticed, slid into a cashier's drawer, and then into the pocket of an unsuspecting shopper. Decades pass, it survives washes, falls, and countless exchanges, yet its copper surface remains pristine. The patina, the shine, the subtle weight of history, all intact. When finally recognized by an expert, it's like discovering buried treasure in your own home. Shockingly, $1.4 million for a single coin. That's not a typo. One penny, one tiny disc of history, capable of delivering a life-changing fortune. Now, how can you recognize one if it's hiding in your own collection or loose change? First, look at the year, 1973. That's non-negotiable. Next, the mint mark, or rather, the absence of one. Coins from Philadelphia often have no mark, but not every 1973 penny without a mark is extraordinary. You have to look closely. Examine the details of Lincoln's portrait. Check the sharpness of the lines, the clarity of the date, the finish of the copper. True no-mint mark rarities are often accompanied by subtle variations, slightly off-center strikes, unusual thickness, or tiny anomalies in the lettering. Experts use magnification and a trained eye, but even beginners can start by simply comparing pennies side by side. The difference is there, waiting to be seen. This is where the thrill kicks in. Every coin you pick up, every penny you sift through, holds the possibility of being something more. Most will be ordinary. But the rare ones, the no-mint mark 1973 pennies, are extraordinary. They carry history, mystery, and an unimaginable monetary reward. People have spent lifetimes searching for coins like this, scouring cash registers, flea markets, and old coin collections. Consider the stories that have circulated among collectors. One retired teacher, cleaning out his old coin jar, discovered a 1973 no-mint mark penny buried beneath decades of forgotten coins. He brought it to an expert without even knowing its true value. Within weeks, the coin was authenticated, and he learned he held a fortune in his hands, a fortune that could support multiple generations. That exact coin, once overlooked, transformed an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. And the emotions tied to this discovery are intense. Excitement, disbelief, a heartbeat that skips. The thought that a small, almost meaningless object could hold such power is almost surreal. Collectors describe it as a mix of awe and gratitude, awe at the rarity, gratitude at being in the right place at the right time. Each 1973 no-mint mark penny carries that potential, a whisper from history promising rewards for the observant, the patient, the curious. Even if you're new to collecting, you can start your search today. Begin with your loose change. Scan jars, drawers, even old coin rolls. Look for the year 1973 and no mint mark. Check the coin's surface, the details of Lincoln's bust, and the date itself. Compare with known images of verified rare pennies. Every small discovery builds knowledge, sharpens your eye, and brings you closer to the thrill of uncovering a hidden treasure. Remember, these coins are not just objects, they are a bridge to history, a symbol of chance, and a gateway to wealth that many dream of but few ever achieve. The emotional pull of holding one of these pennies is undeniable. Imagine presenting it to an expert for authentication, feeling the weight of the moment as they examine it. Every line, every detail tells a story, of errors at the mint, of decades spent hidden in plain sight, of the journey from obscurity to being worth millions. And when the final valuation comes in, when the true worth is revealed, the excitement is unmatched. You are no longer holding a coin, you are holding a legacy, $1 million legacy. Now, let's take a moment to reset. Think of all the pennies you've handled in your life, in jars, under cushions, in pockets. Any one of them could be extraordinary. This is why collectors obsess over the details, why they study, compare, and learn. The potential reward is beyond imagination. Each 1973 no-mint mark penny could be the one that transforms a simple hobby into a multi-million-dollar adventure, and the market confirms it. Auction records show that top-condition 1973 no-mint mark pennies have sold for astonishing sums. We're talking about values that reach $1 million and beyond. The allure is not just in the money, though the money is life-changing, it's in the story, the mystery, the idea that a small, unassuming object could hold so much power. This is why collectors across the United States, from Florida to California, from Texas to New York, hunt tirelessly for these coins, each hoping to become the next person to uncover a fortune hidden in their own home. But the search is not just about luck, it's about knowledge. Learning the subtle characteristics that define a rare 1973 penny is essential. The smoothness of the copper, the sharpness of the date, the absence of a mint mark, all these details matter. Even the tiniest deviation from standard production could indicate a rarity. And that rarity, when authenticated, equals incredible value. Millions of dollars have been paid for coins that most people never even notice. One small detail can be the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Picture yourself holding the coin. Imagine the feeling of realizing that in your hand rests something worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. The sense of disbelief, the rush of adrenaline, the quiet pride of discovery. This is what makes coin collecting so compelling, the thrill of uncovering hidden treasure in the most ordinary places. And the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is the pinnacle of that thrill. So, as you look through your own coins, remember to pay attention. Each year, each mint mark, each subtle detail could reveal the extraordinary. Study, compare, and never overlook what seems ordinary. The coins that pass unnoticed could hide the key to unimaginable wealth. Treasure doesn't always announce itself. It waits silently, patiently, in jars, drawers, and coin rolls. It waits for someone curious enough, vigilant enough, and lucky enough to notice. And when that moment comes, everything changes.